If you have ever said no and then immediately felt bad about it, this might be why. Not a little bad. I mean, like replay it, question it, and almost want to take it back, even if you know you needed to say it. I live that because I can't sit here and tell you I can't sit here and tell you how much boundaries are healthy. You need them they protect you, and they create a better relationship between you and anyone. But when it's actually me saying to someone, no, you're doing something I know I actually would, my brain starts to say, good job. But you feel like you're being difficult. You feel like you just shouldn't have done it. And you're going to feel some type of way. Or that they're going to feel some type of way. And then I sit with that. And it makes me feel like I want to fix it. Like more explanation is needed, or I need to soften it, or I need to go back on it. And that is a loop that has destroyed my life. I'm not a therapist. I'm not diagnosing anyone. I'm just speaking from what I have lived. And I'm still working on me though. So take what fits, leave what doesn't. And if it feels familiar, please stay with me. Because it doesn't come from nowhere. If you grew up like I did without a real safe place and you learned something early, keep things calm, don't make things worse, and don't upset people. Because this is the things that made you unsafe. They didn't at the time. These are the things that you felt made you unsafe. And they didn't just stay off, they escalated. So your brain learned to avoid that at all costs. So now as an adult, when you set a boundary, your brain doesn't read it as you're taking care of yourself. It reads it as you might be upsetting someone. And if someone is upset with you, this could mean a conflict or tension or something worse. And your body reacts, tension, overthinking, and guilt. Not because you did something wrong, but because your brain thinks that you did do something risky. And this is the part that messed me up for a long time. I thought the guilt meant that I was wrong. I thought if this was right, it wouldn't feel like this. So every single time I tried to set a boundary, I would undo it. Say yes when I meant to say no. I blamed myself too much. Make it easier for them. And in the moment, I felt relief. But later, I felt drained, ran over, used, and disrespected because I ignored my own needs again and again and again. And that builds a resentment towards whoever you're trying to set a boundary with. Because now you're showing up, but you're not honest. And you're doing things that you don't want to because it just keeps the peace. And the people that didn't even realize it, you're holding grudges against them because you never told them. And now you're frustrated and they're confused. And that's where everything starts to break and shift and make things make you feel guilty. And it doesn't mean it's wrong. Sometimes it just is unfamiliar. And that is what changes everything. Knowing that it's unfamiliar, not wrong. Because now instead of reacting to the guilt, I can understand it. I can accept it. And it doesn't have to be control over the decisions I make. It doesn't have to control the decisions I make. And that's hard. Because our first thing when setting boundaries is we're concerned about how people might react, what they might question, how they're going to push back, and how they're going to act different towards you. But not because you're wrong, but because they were used to the old version of you and you didn't have any boundaries. And when you changed, the dynamics has to change. And that's going to feel uncomfortable for both of you. But the uncomfortableness doesn't mean that it's wrong. It means it's different and it's going to take time. So now when you feel guilty, don't immediately fix it. Pause and ask yourself, did I do something wrong or does this just feel new? And most of the time, it just feels new. And I'll say it. Boundaries are very important to set between people. Because when people are continuously breaking your boundaries that you have set for yourself, you lose your self-respect. Your value in your mind isn't as great as it should be. And that is self-damaging. And don't not set boundaries because you're worried about what they're going to think. You are the only one who cannot leave you, so don't worry about them. If they can't respect your boundaries, they're not meant to be in your life. And that's a hard thing to do. But in order to start respecting yourself and seeing your worth and setting goals and making things happen in your life, you're going to have to set these boundaries and stop disrespecting yourself by not setting them. When my brain wants to go back to letting boundaries go because I miss people or I'm lonely or whatever, I know that it's a temporary feeling and that somebody better, because I have a better sense of self-respect, a better demeanor in public, I'm attracting different people in my life that are more valuable than the ones I let go of for the boundaries. And I am not abandoning myself ever again by not setting a boundary. And I have done that enough. I have abandoned myself enough for 40 years. And this part matters. You're allowed to choose you. You're allowed to choose you. You're allowed to say no. And you're allowed to not fix your boundaries to make someone else feel more comfortable. That doesn't make you difficult. That makes you honest and respectful. And it builds better relationships with better people who need to be in your life. And every time, it will take less energy and effort to make a boundary. And if this feels like you, you're not wrong for feeling guilty. You were trained to feel this way, but you don't have to stay there. And so, if this sounds like you, put in the comments, I'm choosing me, and like the episode and subscribe. Because on the next episode, we're going to go deeper into how I feel like controlling everything, why I feel like I have to control everything, and what happens when I finally let go. And this is a soul shelter, and I am B, and I'll be back to fight all day.